We're going to begin reading the book of Genesis, which in the Hebrew is Bereshit, which means in the beginning. This is the complete Jewish Bible that we're reading from, so some of the words I might stumble over, but we're going to try our best here. So Genesis chapter 1. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. The earth was unformed and void, darkness on the face of the deep. Spirit of God hovered over the surface of the water. Then God said, "Let there be light." And there was light. God saw the light was good, divided the light from the darkness, called the light day, darkness called night. There was evening and morning one day. God said, "Let there be a dome in the middle of the water. Let it divide the water from the water." God made the dome and divided the water under the dome from the water above the dome. And that is how it was. And God called the dome sky. So there was evening and there was morning, a second day. And God said, "Let the water under the sky be gathered together into one place. Let the dry land appear," and that is how it was. God called the dry land earth, the gathering together the water he called seas, and God saw that it was good. God said, "Let the earth put forth grass, seed-producing plants, fruit trees, yielding its own kind of seed-bearing fruit on the earth." That is how it was. The earth brought forth grass, plants each yielding its own seed, trees each producing its own kind of seed-bearing fruit. God saw it was good. And there was evening and there was morning, a third day. And God said, "Let there be lights in the dome of the sky to divide the day from the night. Let there be for signs, seasons, days, and years. Let them be for lights in the dome of the sky to give light to the earth." And that is how it was. God made two great lights, a larger light to rule the day and a smaller to rule the night and the stars. God put them in the dome of the sky to give light to the earth, to rule over the day and over the night, to divide the light from the darkness. And God said, or saw, that it was good. So there was evening and there was morning, a fourth day. And God said, "Let the waters swarm with swarms of living creatures, and let birds fly above the earth in the open dome of the sky." God created the great sea creatures, every living thing that creeps, so that the water swarmed with all kinds of them. And there was every kind of winged bird. And God said it was good. He saw that it was good. Then God blessed them, saying, "Be fruitful, multiply, fill the waters of the seas, let the birds multiply on the earth." There was evening and there was morning, a fifth day. God said, "Let the earth bring forth each kind of living creature, each kind of livestock, crawling animals, wild beasts," and that is how it was. God made each kind of wild beast, each kind of livestock, and every kind of animal that crawls along the ground, and God saw that it was good. Then God said, "Let us make humankind in our image and the likeness of ourselves. Let them rule over the fish of the sea, the birds in the air, the animals over all the earth, over every crawling creature that crawls on the earth." So God created humankind in his own image. In the image of God he created them. Male and female, he created them. God blessed them. God said to them, "Be fruitful and multiply, fill the earth and subdue it. Rule over the fish in the sea, the birds in the air, every living creature that crawls on the earth." Then God said, "Here, throughout the whole earth I am giving you as food every seed-bearing plant, every tree with seed-bearing fruit, every wild animal, bird in the air, creature crawling on the earth, of which there is a living soul. I am giving as food every kind of green plant," and that is how it was. God saw everything he had made, and indeed it was very good. There was evening and there was morning, a sixth day. Bereshit, chapter 2, or Genesis, chapter 2. Thus, the heavens and the earth were finished, along with everything in them. On the seventh day, God was finished with his work, which he had made. So he rested on the seventh day from all his work, which he had made. God blessed the seventh day and separated it as holy, because that God rested from all his work, which he had created, so it itself could produce. Here is the history of the heavens and the earth when they were created. On the day when Adonai, God, made earth and heaven, there was not any wild bush on earth. No wild plant sprung up, for Adonai, God, had not caused it to rain on the earth. There was no one to cultivate the ground. Rather, a mist from the earth which watered the entire surface of the ground. Then Adonai, God, formed a person from the dust of the ground, breathed into his nostrils the breath of life, so that he became a living being. Adonai, God, planted a garden toward the east in Eden, and there he put the person whom he had formed. Out of the garden, Adonai, God, caused to grow every tree pleasing in appearance and good for food, including the tree of life in the middle of the garden and the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. A river went out from Eden to water the garden, and from there it divided into 4 streams. The name of the first was Pishon. It winds through the land of Havilah where there is gold. The gold of that land is good. Aromatic resin and onyx stones are also found there. The name of the second river is Gishon. It winds through the land of Cush. The name of the third is the Tigris, which flows toward the east of Ashur. The fourth river is the Euphrates. Adonai God took the person and put him in the Garden of Eden to cultivate and care for it. Adonai God gave the person this order: You may freely eat from every tree in the garden except the tree of knowledge of good and evil. You are not to eat from it, because of that day you eat from it, it will become certain that you will die. Adonai God said, It isn't good that this person should be alone. I will make for him a companion suitable for helping him. So from the ground Adonai God formed every wild animal, every bird that flies in the air, brought them into the person to see what he would call them. Whatever the person called them, each living person had its name. So the person gave names to all the livestock, to the birds in the air, every wild animal. But for Adam, there was not found a companion suitable for helping him. God caused a deep sleep to fall upon the person while he was sleeping. He took one of his ribs, closed up the place which he took from the flesh. The rib from Adonai God had taken from the person he made a woman person. He brought her to the man person. The man person said, At last! This is bone of my bones, flesh of my flesh. She shall be called woman, for she was taken out of man. This is why man is to leave his father and mother and stick with his wife. They are to be one flesh. They were both naked, the man and his wife, and they were not ashamed. I'm going to jump into the Gospel of Matthew. This is in the New Testament to give us a little bit of a New Testament dose along with the Old Testament. So this is the Gospel of Matthew. I'm going to stumble over these names as much as I can. Try not to. This is the genealogy of Yeshua, the Messiah, the son of David, the son of Abraham. Abraham was the father of Yitzhak, Yitzhak the father of Yaakov, Yaakov the father of Yehuda and his brothers. Yehuda was the father of Peretz and Zerach. Their mother was Tamar. Peretz was the father of Hetzron, Hetzron the father of Ram, Ram the father of Abinadab, Abinadab the father of Nahshon, Nahshon the father of Salmon, Salmon the father of Boaz, whose mother was Rachel? Rahab? It's an interesting pronunciation. I can't do Hebrew very well. Boaz was the father of Oved, whose mother was Ruth. Oved the father of Ishi the father of David the king. David the father of Shemiel, his wife of Uriah. So it would be Solomon, right? Shimon the father of Rakov the father of Ahiah, the father of Asa the father of Yoshvat the father of Yoram the father of Uzziah the father of Yotam the father. I'm doing a horrible job with these names. Akaz the father of Hekayu the father of Merzi, and Mashina, the father of Eman the father of Yoshua the father of Yakayu, his brothers at the time of the exile to Babel. After the Babylonian exile, Yaakov the father of Shatil, Zerubbabel, Avid, Akalakim, Azur, Tezak, Yakin, Eliud the father of Eleazar the father of Matan, the father of Yaakov the father of Joseph, the husband of Miriam, who's born Yeshua, who is called Messiah. Wow. Okay. Awesome. There was 14 generations from Abraham to David, 14 generations from David to the Babylonian exile, 14 generations from the Babylonian exile to Messiah. Here's how the birth of Yeshua, the Messiah, took place. When his mother, Mary, was engaged to Joseph, because they were married, she was found pregnant from the Ruach HaKodesh, that's the Holy Spirit. Her husband-to-be, Joseph, was the man who did what was right, so he made plans to break the engagement quietly rather than put her to public shame. But while he was thinking on these things, an angel from Adonai appeared to him in a dream and said, Joseph, son of David, do not be afraid to take Miriam home as your wife. For what has been conceived in her is Ruach HaKodesh, from the Holy Spirit. She'll give birth to a son. You are to name him Yeshua, which means Adonai saves, because he will save his people from their sins. All this happened in order to fulfill what Adonai had said through the prophet. The virgin will conceive and bear a son. They will call him Emmanuel. The name is God with us. When Joseph awoke, he did as the angel Adonai had told him to do, took Miriam home to be his wife, but he did not have relations with her until she had given birth to a son and named him Yeshua. Now let's go back into the book of Psalms in the Old Testament and read a little bit of the Psalm. Psalm 1. How blessed are those who reject the advice of the wicked. Don't stand in the way of sinners, or sit where scoffers sit. Their delight is in Adonai's Torah, and in Torah they meditate day and night. They are like trees planted by streams. They bear their fruit in the seasons. Their leaves neither wither, neither everything they do succeeds. Not so the wicked, who are like chaff driven by the wind. For this reason the wicked won't stand up in judgment, nor will the sinners at gatherings of the righteous. For Adonai watches over the ways of the righteous, but the ways of the wicked are doomed. That was day 1 of our Bible reading. Thank you for listening.